Chapter 26. The first few days immediately after chemo were always the worst. But there was a sweet spot a few days long between infusions where Michelle felt pretty good. And we made the most out of those times by getting out of the house for a bit. Sometimes it would just be to do some shopping or get something to eat or visit family and friends, but we always did it together. We always had fun doing it. Not too long after our fiasco with the swing, we decided to take a day trip to Louisville on a motorcycle during one of these between chemo sweet spots. A good friend of mine, Jason, also had a bike, and I invited him and his wife, Whitney, to go with us. And they agreed. So as soon as you cross the bridge on I-64 going into Louisville, there's a Joe's Crab Shack that sits overlooking the river on the right. And we decided that that would make for a good place to eat with a pretty backdrop to boot. So on another furiously hot July summer day in Kentucky, Michelle and I strapped on our helmets and we set out to meet Jason and Whitney on our way to Louisville. And Michelle didn't bother with the wig, and not because we'd have to pack it on account of the helmet or because of the heat, but because by this time she was just as comfortable without one. And she received so many compliments on her look from perfect strangers that just thought it was a fashion statement that now I believe she felt as beautiful as she looked to me and everybody else all along. And we met Jason and Whitney at a spot en route, and then we headed out together on our way to Louisville. Now, modern physics says that time slows down the faster you go. That's time dilation, right? Part of relativity. Well, we must have been approaching light speed because for us on that bike, time just stood still. On the bike, there was no cancer, no chemo, no doctor's visits, no worry about the future. Just the bliss of the sunshine and the wind and the thrill of piloting such a powerful machine while meshed to your soulmate. Every sense becomes alive. At high speed with such valuable cargo, it has to. And we flew by cars that were doing 100 miles per hour like they were standing still. And we weren't racing Jason and Whitney per se, not with any real seriousness anyhow. But in the spirit of friendly competition, we'd see what we'd get out of our bikes when the traffic allowed for it. Now, Jason and I have been best friends since we were kids. And we're damn near twins how similar we are in some ways. Whenever we try to outdo each other, it always ends in a tie. And this time was no different. His bike was faster than mine, but I was a more experienced driver. And when we stopped on the river to enjoy our meal, all four of us had smiles as big as kids in a candy shop. And we took our time and enjoyed ourselves and enjoyed our meal and was laughing and cutting up over dinner, watching the pretty river scenery. And we took a little stroll after we ate riverside to let our food settle and everything. And then when we were all good and ready, Michelle and I said our goodbyes to Jason and Whitney. And then we flew home just as fast as the wind in a Japanese street bike could take you. It was a beautiful day. It was a really beautiful day. I always remember that day. It's just perfect. Perfect. Beautiful day spent with great friends, having a great time. As near perfect a day as any man or woman could wish for. And we enjoyed every single moment of it. Now, Michelle and I both shared the same love and appreciation for a healthy mixture of danger and fun. And our bike rides together were definitely that. But what I loved most about our bike rides wasn't the wind and the sunshine or the speed and the thrill. What I loved more than anything was the way my baby trusted me. Made me never want to let her down.